Bowman Draft First Edition released last week, and we are watching prices that are way too high. We watched Bowman First Edition Baseball from earlier in April release, and prices drop all the way through the summer. So why do we believe that this product will be any different? Let's dive in and find out. Welcome, everyone, to Dinging Corners, a baseball podcast powered by Slabstocks. I'm your host, Nate, and today we are going to be talking about 2020 Bowman First Edition against 2020 Bowman Draft First Edition. Now, I was given a question the other day from a follower who asked if he should buy 2020 Bowman Draft First Edition packs. I said I didn't know because the top guy was Spencer Torkelson and not Jason Dominguez this time, and I didn't know how that would affect the market. I think he did go ahead and buy packs. So we're going to look at these two right now. Nobody asked me to cover this, but I thought it would be a good idea to look at these two products, the 2020 Bowman First and the 2020 Bowman Draft First, and compare them as they're the first two products in a series of products that I'm sure they will come out with in the future that they haven't had before this year. So we're going to cover it. Again, we're going to be screen sharing so you can check my work at all times. And we're going to get into it. A couple of notes here before we begin, and you'll see it, is that, again, first year of this product, there were some switches from Bowman Draft to Bowman Baseball. Bowman Baseball first edition seemed like it came out just because the Bowman Baseball was running late and they wanted to get something out to you, so that's what they did. Whereas Bowman Draft was clearly its standalone product, and you'll see why in a little bit. Bowman Draft First Edition. And so one thing you'll notice, you go to the checklist, and I'm sorry about I guess I could expand this, yeah. If you have it unexpanded, it brings this bar all the way down. Very obnoxious. But thank you to Cardboard Connection for the resources here. And you'll notice Bowman Draft First Edition right away. Number of things different. One, parallels, right? If we go to parallels here, sky blue is numbered 150, then yellow, gold, orange, red, platinum for Bowman First Edition for earlier. Here, sky blue is unnumbered, and then they've got blue out of 150, and then the same colors after that, except for rainbow and platinum are different. So rainbow, it'll be interesting to see a rainbow card and see what that is. Now, Bowman Draft, 200 players. 200 players right there. As opposed to Bowman First Edition from earlier in the year, 150 players. So that's a big difference, a 50-player bigger checklist. And it's not like it's all guys that were drafted, because if you look at it right here, Geraldo Perdomo, he's already a baseball player in the minor leagues and already has an autograph. JJ Bleday, he's got cards, right? Nick Lodolo, he's got cards. So it's not everyone that doesn't have a card already in here. So you can get guys, second cards of guys still in this product. And that's kind of disappointing for 200 cards there. And then second different thing is the autographs. So last time this came out in Bowman First Edition. So the autographs were a decent number of guys. I missed it. Okay. Yep, right here. A decent number of guys. You can see the list right here, very long. A ton of the guys. Hidden finds, I don't know what that means. They even had rookie autos in there. And the difference between this is that they had all the normal parallels in Bowman. So refractor 499, speckle 299, purple, except for blue. And it seemed like what they did was just took the autograph that was from Bowman, instead of getting new ones, stamped a first edition symbol on it, like you can see in this corner, and called it good. So it was just a Bowman baseball autograph that was supposed to go out, I'm pretty sure, but instead it came out in first edition, so they had autographs. So right here you'll see Robert Pawson, 94 out of 99. That would not have come out in Bowman baseball, but instead came out in Bowman First Edition. Whereas for Bowman Draft, Chrome autograph checklist significantly smaller, and also numbered. The top autograph you can get is numbered to 30, and then there's blue numbered to 20, red numbered to 5, and rose gold numbered to 1. So way harder to get autographs this year. presumably, unless they, only did 56 autos of the different parallels for the other guys, it may be harder to get autographs this year, but a smaller checklist, significantly better guys. Obviously, you've got Spencer Torkelson, you've got Robert Hassel, shortstop prospect, drafted number 8. You've got Keston Kjerstad, drafted number 2. You got Asa Lacy, who was drafted number 4. So you got Max Meyer, drafted number 3. So you got a number of really good players in here to get autographs of, and extremely short printed, which is cool, but still extremely hard. 377 packs to get one auto. And we'll look at pack price here real quick, but that's hard to do. So Bowman first, packs are going for around $25 to $30. Hobby boxes are going around $570. And as for Bowman Draft, hobby boxes are 500 plus. There's a very wide range there. And packs are usually going for around 22 to 25. So you're looking at, the difference of a couple bucks for packs and, maybe $40, $50 for the hobby box. When Bowman first came out, you'll remember the Jason Dominguez hype was insane, and those boxes were going for the high 600s to low 700s in early May. And then the packs, the first sale where I went back to PWCC Marketplace, I looked it up. The first sale where there's actually pictures of the packs and not just order confirmed, buy this now. There was 3 packs sold for $86, so $29 a piece. So $29, and right now the packs are about the same, $25 to $30 range, with a lot going underneath that price there of $29. If we're looking at that and we see the prices back in May and the price of the pack back in May, and you compare that to today's price of $500 plus and $22 to $25, I'd expect those hobby boxes to maybe go down and the packs to probably stay the same if they follow suit with Bowman Baseball. Now, remember, we do not have a Jason Dominguez in this, but we will get into that in a little bit. Now, if we're talking about players, obviously, I'm going to cover 3 players from each draft, 3 of the top players, so to speak. So Bowman Baseball was easy. Jason Dominguez, Bobby Witt Jr., Robert Pawson. For Bowman Draft first edition, it's a little bit harder. And Spencer Torkelson, easy. Keston Kjerstad, easy. Silent J there. And for my third guy, I didn't know who to take. I was thinking about Robert Hassel. I didn't want to take Asa Lacy or any of the pitchers that were taken. Aston Martin did not have a card. So instead, I took Ed Howard, who was drafted in the middle of the first round by the Cubs. First, shortstop prospect on a big team. Really good defense, solid contact, solid power. 6'2" frame could grow into some power there. So I took him because he has significant upside and he plays on a big team instead of taking like the number 3 pick, so to speak. So that's why I took Ed Howard. So now let's jump into prices here. And you've got Jason Dominguez, which you can see I have pulled up here. And so Jason Dominguez today, remember, we will cover his prices from May and till today. So today, a $60 card, non-graded. And if you want to look for a PSA 10, we're looking at $250 for a PSA 10. These are all within the last couple days. When it came out, Jason Dominguez, and this is from PWCC, May 2nd, the average of 5 sales. So there are 5 sales the first day for Jason Dominguez. The prices were $230.70 on average. $231, we'll round it up. $231 on average for the 5 sales for these Jason Dominguez cards. And you are looking at $60 today. And then June 1st, so May 2nd, $230. June 1st, they were under $100 like all day. 72, 89, some prices in there. So just another point to prove that you should not be buying cards right now or you shouldn't have been buying last week cards of Spencer Torkelson because prices always go down, and nobody had more hype than Jason Dominguez. And $230 all the way down to $60 today. That's insane. That's a huge drop. Some of it's because he hasn't played, but some of it's because the hype was insane, new product and everything. And once that hype goes away, and you're going to see that with Spencer Torkelson too, with the prices we cover later. So that's absurd. Jason Dominguez, obviously, you all know who he is. Huge power, huge frame for a 17-year-old kid, Yankees prospect. Really, really, really hyped. Spencer Torkelson, on the other hand, First baseman that they're going to play third base, plays for the Tigers, not nearly as hyped as the Yankees. 21, not 17. So everything is less exciting about Spencer Torkelson than Jason Dominguez. And as we know, hype drives prices in the hobby. So let's go on to player number 2 on the Bowman First Edition, and that is Bobby Witt Jr., Kansas City Royals shortstop. Big power out of the shortstop, also big strikeout ability there, unfortunately. So we're looking at prices here. Essentially, we're looking at PSA 10, $85. I know it's a buy it now. Still $85. There was one a little bit lower, almost $85 on November 23rd on bids. So, and then non-graded, if we're looking for a non-graded here, $30. That's a little bit high considering this one sold for $22.50 the very next day non-graded. So Bobby Witt Jr. was the second player in the draft, and his prices really aren't that amazing anymore. When they came out May 2nd, average of 4 sales for non-graded cards, $55. And June 1st, average price of 5 cards sold on June 1st was $15. So non-graded being $22 now, pretty good deal compared to $15 June 1st. But as we see, a far cry from the $55 when it came out on May 2nd. So buyer beware again, if you're buying now, wait. He's also exciting, power hitting shortstop, more exciting than any of the guys on the list below that we're going to talk about in a little bit. And then lastly is Robert Pawson, a shortstop, the 8th overall recruit from the year previous out of the international free agency period. And we will go to him so you can see that card. Prices, not that amazing. PSA 10, $50. Non-graded, you're looking at, well, there's a Bowman First, non-first edition here. So the prices are a little wonky, but you're probably looking at $7, $8 for that card. If we can find one, $10, $10 right here, $11 for Robert Pawson First Edition. And this one goes even cheaper than that because you're getting that Bowman First in there. One of those things where, we're going to say $10 for non-graded, and we will say $50 for PSA 10. Pretty good prices, but not amazing prices considering he's like the third best player to come out of the product. And then you're looking at, especially for a box that still goes for $570, if you get PSA 10s of all of these guys, if you get all 3 guys and you get PSA 10s of these guys, $385 for these 3 guys if you got all PSA 10s and you spent $570 on the box, that is atrocious. That is a terrible return on investment. I'm all about return on investment when we're talking about these boxes, and that is a bad deal. So stay away. So when it came out May 2nd, average of 3 sales for Robert Pawson, $35, $10 today, big drop there. June 1st, average, they were around $10-ish. They went up a little bit, went down a little bit. Hard to really get a read, but on average, probably around $10 there. So about the same as today. So if you just wait a month after the first prices came out on November 24th, if you wait till December 24th, you're probably doing pretty good on Bowman Draft. So there are those prices there. As you can see, prices start out ridiculously high for everyone, and then they dropped within a month to around what they are today. The problem is the prices on the hobby boxes and the packs do not make up for the prices on the PSA 10s unless you get a hobby box and get more than one Jason Dominguez out of it. Seems unlikely, but probably not unheard of. Bowman Draft First Edition. So we've got 3 players, Spencer Torkelson, Keston Kjerstad, and Ed Howard, like I covered before. Remember, hobby boxes are $500+, packs are $22 to $25. Now, when we're covering these guys, there's no historical data to look at, so we're just looking at data today. If we're looking at Spencer Torkelson, you're looking at prices. I do not have the extension that Aaron told me to get yet, so you're only seeing that it's under $75 here, under $90, under $90. But if we're looking December 2nd, $89 for a Bowman First, that's pretty good. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom and we get the first one, $150 almost. So right now you're already looking maybe a week and a half later, and the prices dropped on Spencer Torkelson by as much as then. This is the latest auction. This is the latest auction here, $60. $60 in a week and a half. The person who bought it first really got gypped here. Never be the first person to buy a card. Maybe if you're extremely, extremely rich, then you're like, yeah, I don't care. But if it was me, I'm waiting at least that week and a half to get a better deal. And these are probably going to keep dropping. So you got to keep waiting. You got to keep waiting there and avoid paying premium prices for guys, especially a guy like Spencer Torkelson. I know he's the number one pick in the draft. I know people are really excited about his bat, but he is a first baseman that they're going to try to play at third base. It's probably not going to go well. He's probably going to have to move back over to first base. It's like when they moved Miguel Cabrera over to third to make room for Prince Fielder, and Miguel Cabrera was a terrible defender. This is probably the same situation. You've even got prices as low as $67 here, which if you're the person that sold that compared to the $150 card, you're really sour because you're losing 80 some bucks there. $83 of profit compared to the first sale. So this is the best player. We don't know the PSA 10 prices, but that's the best player in the draft, Spencer Torkelson. And we're talking under 90 bucks for a non-graded right now when they came out at 150. And I wouldn't be shocked if they settle around this $70 price. Number 2 on the list is Keston Kjerstad, and he, second overall pick in the draft, very good outfielder from Arkansas. And you're looking at prices, $16.50 here, but a lot of cards for $9.99 with $3.85 shipping. This one's even a bit high at 19 bucks. Sometimes people just want a card and they're willing to pay. But the first card in the list, $31 plus $4 shipping, so $35 on November 24th for the first sale. And now you're looking at cards that are going, 16 bucks, 14 bucks, 14 bucks, Obviously, $35 to $15, we'll say on average. Huge drop, not worth buying right away, even though he's one of the best players in the draft. Number 2 pick out of Arkansas. Very nice outfielder for the Orioles. Terrible price drop there on him. And also, $15 for the second overall pick in the draft is wonky. You're paying this much for a box, $500 plus for a box, and you're getting the second overall pick for $15 to sell his card. That's atrocious right there. Lower than Bobby Witt by almost $7 today. Not good. And then lastly, we've got Ed Howard, and you're looking really good defensive shortstop who's got a 6'2" frame and ability to grow into power here for the Cubs. And you're looking 2 sales, 20 bucks, we'll say. We'll round up to 25 cents to 20 bucks here. So you're looking at $10 a card there on Ed Howard. But if you go all the way down to the bottom and you're looking at $20 for the first sale, $24 almost for the first sale. We're looking $10 a card now, but we're looking at $24 back then, $24 here. So at least cut in half on Ed Howard also, which I like the idea of buying these cards secondhand, significantly cheap. People will like the first edition stamp. So that's pretty cool. Secondhand resale, pretty good. But the hobby box price, absurd. $500 plus for a Bowman Draft box, $570 for a Bowman First hobby box. And we don't know the PSA 10 prices on this Bowman First hobby box, but if it's $500 plus right now, and it's not that much more expensive than the Bowman Baseball First, I'm going Bowman Baseball First all day. I mean, look at it. We've got 50 less players that you could possibly get here, less opportunity to get autographs and all that jazz. One of those things that is just a rotten deal. Both boxes are a rotten deal. I would stay away. If you have it, sell it. Do not open it. If you got packs, sell them, please. Please sell them. Do not open them. It's unlikely you get your money back. If you have just single packs for 20 bucks, you might get your money back. If you're buying a 24 pack hobby box for $500 plus or $570 for the Bowman Baseball, it's unlikely you get your money back, because what are the odds that you're going to get a PSA 10 of all of those cards? If you get a PSA 10 of Robert Pawson and Jasson Dominguez and Bobby Witt Jr., you're still looking at $385. You're still $200 short of breaking even. It's unlikely you get an autograph in there, so you don't have that going for you. So if you're going to buy individual packs, test your luck. Maybe you hit a Spencer Torkelson that gets you your money back right away, or plus some. Otherwise, it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal. But if I had to choose one between 2020 Bowman Baseball and Bowman Draft, I am going Bowman Baseball all day, because Jasson Dominguez and Robert Pawson and Bobby Witt Jr. have way higher upside than anybody in this draft. Spencer Torkelson is a nice bat, but he's a first baseman playing third base, and we see the prices on first baseman. They're not great. And he's the top bat in the draft. And the teams therefore, Tigers and Orioles, not overly exciting. Ed Howard's exciting on the Cubs, but everyone else, not overly exciting there. So go Bowman Baseball if you have to buy packs or have to buy the box. If you have draft, please sell. Don't be tempted into opening. The prices are just going to keep dropping. You look at it on December 4th, a month out, and I bet those Spencer Torkelsons are even cheaper. Those Keston Kjerstads are even cheaper. That's my review of Bowman Baseball compared to Bowman Draft. I hope you enjoyed. It came from the question that a follower had for me on if he should buy. I hope I answered the question. I'm sure he got a pretty good deal on packs if he did buy and resold instead of opening. But overall, Bowman Draft First Edition, not worth it. Thank you everyone for listening today to Dinging Corners, and I will talk to you again next time.